Greetings, gents and ladies. Just a little bonus one here, but this is for James Hardy. He was having issues with this original Mod 2 board, and I was having a look at it and I could not get any sort of sense out of IC16 here. You see, I've cut some things off already because I was looking for a strange problem. This was never setting its outputs properly, and I've discovered there's actually nothing wrong with this. It's a dead short on address line A8. See if I do this. That's A8. That's shorted directly. See, I've got that up there. That's shorted directly to 5 volts. Which means that that address line is just going to be high all the time. It's shorted directly to 5 volts, and it's causing quite a short circuit because it actually burned out this little capacitor on the 5 volt line here. So if I turn the board over, hold on. If I turn the board over and then I zoom right in here, doesn't always focus properly. Give it a second. Right, that's the best I'm going to get. Right. This here is connected to A8. It's coming round here and past here, and there's a looks. You can't see it with the naked eye, but zoom with this camera on this phone and you can see there's a possible bridge right here, and it actually just looks like the traces are cut slightly here and the mic have been pushed over. This is your 5 volt line here. A big thick trace there's your 5 volt line. This is really, I know it's hard to focus, so bear with me, but that's your 5 volt line and that is A8. So I'm almost, well, sometimes the focus is ridiculous, but the zoom's ridiculous as well. Whoever wants to zoom in that close, I'm almost going to guarantee that there's shorted to this. Now, it's nothing James Hardy's done. He wasn't anywhere near this section. This is something somebody's done before. Or it could just be a little bit of battery damage that's caused this to migrate. The traces sometimes here are so close, and you get a little bit of battery gunk. Sometimes it becomes conductive. And you can't see that break there with the naked eye. It looks like there's a space there, but there's definitely something there. So I'm going to lift. I'm going to lift that socket off of there. I might lift the socket for the CPU as well. And then we shall see what's going on under here. So, I've just started desoldering and there it's there. You can see it. It's a cut in the trace there and it's migrated over. And there we go. Desoldered it, cleaned it up really nice with a bit of braid. And the short has gone. Now, if I zoom back in, I can show you what it was. You can see how, excuse me, I'm a little bit disorientated here on zoom. That trace there, the tiniest little bridge to there. But that's all it took. You see that coming around there? A teeny little bit of, I don't even think it was solder, I think it was battery corrosion. Just in between those two lines there. So, took all the pins out, cleaned it up really well with a nice bit of braid. There's still some guff there. I'll give this a wee wipe with some IPA and then we'll get a new chip on there and we'll see how we get on. Now, I don't have any spares for a 4, but I've got a scrap board. It's got all this side missing. James sent me a scrap board, but I do have, I believe it's got one of these, and it has this down here, which is the same chip, 74541, as what goes over here. So I'll get the scrap board, I'll take that off of there, put it on this one there, and then we'll get testing. Right, so looking over the rest of it, the rest of the board, just give it a wee flyby. I tend to look at these things under a zoom camera anyway, so I can see what's going on. Get a better idea of, let's see, we get a wee bit of corrosion there. And here, not too bad. Needs a wee bit of clean. The remnants of that IC came out really nice, that's nice and clean. Wee bit of IP, I'll spruce that up. But man, wee bit of corrosion here. There. Those two diodes are a bit suspect, but they test okay. The usual heat blooms up at the lamp section. Yeah, it generally looks okay. It generally looks okay. Right, so let's get some parts, new parts on. Get a chip on here, get a chip on here. Don't have sockets left, but I'm not putting sockets on anyway because this is going into somebody's working machine, so sockets tend to get part creep, which is okay if it's your own game, but this is someone else's. A couple of pads missing here, but they're all right. They don't have traces attached to them at the front. They all have traces at the back. They'll be fine. Right, we'll see how we get on. There we go. New parts are in. Double check the short is no longer there. Now we just need to go get the CPU, get the RAM, get the memory in. We'll fire this thing up under test and see what it does. So by the looks of it, I got it up and running, but I wasn't getting any display at all. And that display is fine, that came straight out of an MPU4 machine. So I had a look around, those three Zener diodes there, see how I've cut them out, they're a little bit dodgy looking. They're all shorted dead to ground. I cut them all out, and all of a sudden my display pins are working. That is, you have pin 19 on IC3 here is the reset, pin 39 is the clock data, and pin 19 out of IC8 is the clock. And they were all stuck low to start with till I cut those Zeners out, and now they're all pulsing. So these were shorted to the ground and loading these lines down. I know a couple of these chips have been replaced before, so I wonder if that's what killed them in the first place. So what I need to do now is remove those things and replace them. There we go. She's up and running. New Zener diodes are in there. No rails, no meters, but I've bypassed them out. You just clip a couple of clip leads to the top and bottom of T11 there, then you can do my usual little trick with the reels. The photo input, sorry, you just crocodile clip to the 5V line, pin 1, then very quickly touch 5, 7, 8, 9. Don't touch pin 6. You touch pin 6, you know all about it, you leave it catch fire. As I found out many times in the past. Display's upside down, but yeah, it's working. It's not actually upside down, it's actually backwards. It's the early MPU4 send the code out to the display different to what the later ones do, and that's an early display. I think that's out that's formerly out of Smash and Grab or something, I think. Display was bad, but I repaired it. So yeah, she good. So this is a mod 2 MPU4 as well, so still needs a couple of other bits probably doing to it. But that's a new, that chip's there's out the donor board, that chip there's out the donor board. So the diode's replaced. I've still got to replace the capacitor there. I'll get one from upstairs. And yeah, handy to go into one of the earlier 80s games if you've got one, Mr. Hardy, but yeah, live. Now that looks like his board's gone off, but it hasn't. That's not a fault. Some daft reason the display goes off for about 5 minutes in the middle of their track mode, then it comes back. The board's still running away happily to itself. So, yeah. Hope you like what you see here. I've just got to show you, you can have a totally clean looking board. See, and back. You have a totally clean looking board. But you can have the weirdest of faults on these. Just because the solder traces, the mask is a little fragile now, this day and age. And it's so easy to just bridge something on the board. Yeah, but there we go. Rest of the board's all nice and clean. I'm not even going to bother about the tiny little corrosion spots here and there. They're not an issue. Might need to do some tidying up on there. It looks like someone's cut parts off from the top and replaced them. So yeah, and there we go. Oh yeah, the card, by the way, was, this isn't my card, I've just borrowed it. It'll be going back to its rightful owner soon, and he'll be using it for more tests. But, yep, all good. Alright, bye bye for now.